Buddy, have to do the sound check. Gotta make sure the sound works. I don't have the mic muted this time, so we should be all good. Just waiting for YouTube to catch up. It is on a delay. It's not immediately from my house into your house. Come on. Still says waiting. Should only be like a 20-some second delay. Try refreshing it again. Delay. There we go. Okay, we're good. All right. And it is 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which is when we do answering your financial questions on Saturdays and Sundays. Live from Cabot, Arkansas, this is Answering Your Financial Questions. And it's Sunday afternoon. Let's get into that. If you're in the Oak Island, I just dropped another video, as the kids say. What is it? Looks back and ahead. Actually, 41 minutes ago, I dropped it like it was hot. If you scroll down on my YouTube channel page, main page, you'll come to this podcast or whatever, the live stream, Answering Your Financial Questions, Ramsey Solutions Certified Coach Steve Money, which is me, and this is number 83 that we're doing right now, and there's also the music playlist, which has 8 or 9 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Give those a listen if you like. I did not write the music. Like, for example, Elton John wrote the music for the Rachel Cruz song. He just didn't know it. And a little sneak peek of that would be, and I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz, for good advice that she learned in her youth. It's much better with the music. And of course, it would be much better with a better singer. Obviously, I do know that. I've asked people to sing some of the songs that I've written, and no takers yet. And of course, the Ramsey Show After Show. The next one of those will be on April 30th, which is a Tuesday. And there's been 369 of those so far. Used to be able to do those every day, but moved and got a different job, and now I can't do those every day, and so that's why I added the weekend streams. All right, let's get into questions. Who is Junior version 376? Is that what who is Junior V 376? Finally getting debt free and looking for some guidance on getting to saving 15% to retirement. All right. So, like the title says, debt free by the end of the month. Excellent. Congratulations. Starting my emergency fund, then into retirement savings and college fund, looking for basic, simple retirement plan. Does this sound fine, or is there a better, easier way? Max IRA, Roth, invested into a target retirement date fund. No, you don't do the target dates. Target dates are not aggressive enough, so you're leaving money on the table by doing target date funds. Now, if you are just a few years from retirement and you are worried about the market being down right when you are going to retire, then it's possible you could maybe move some of it into a target date, and that's going to be much safer and less aggressive. And so, but you could also, instead of doing that, you could also just put in a high yield savings account as well, which is going to be about the same amount that would be. It's only going to be, 5 to 7 or so. It's not going to be the 10% that you should be looking for in a better managed mutual fund. Let's see, rest in 401k, also in target retirement date fund. No, again, the target date, you're leaving money on the table, too much money on the table. So you're 37, it says down here, too young. You got 30 years left in the market. You can be a little aggressive, especially at age 37. After our retirement started, looking to start college fund for baby on the way. Everybody wants to do everything all at the same time and look ahead. I get planning, but some people go overboard with that. Should this be a flat amount or percentage as well? What you want to do for college fund is to have it be baby on the way. Oh, that changes everything. But as far as college fund, what you want to do is plan to have X amount for baby when baby is 18 to go to college. And then you do the math backwards for that, including the investing that you will be doing as a part of that, either an ESA or a state-run 529 plan. So you work for it back. So it's not a percentage. You just figure out how much you want to have for the kid to go to college that time. But yeah, let's see. Some details. Wife is pregnant with her first child. Well, that changes everything, of course. Because guess what? You don't do anything. You can debt-free by the end of the month. That was 4 days ago. It's still April. So I will allow you for the next 9 days. Next 9 days to not pause the baby steps and go ahead and get debt-free. I will allow it for 9 days. You get a 9-day exemption from stork mode, but right after the debt is all gone, then you're doing what you're basically doing anything anyway, which is doing the full emergency fund. So you're just stacking up cash at that point to fill your full emergency fund, but you're going to keep doing that until mom and baby or babies are home safe. And then once they are, then you can take any funds that are left from you piling up cash, and then you can throw that all to the next baby steps. So yeah, you're not doing any of that. I mean, it's not technically your starting, your emergency fund, but it would immediately become any money left would immediately become your emergency fund. And then you can put whatever is beyond the emergency fund to investing kid college and paying off the house early. So yeah, that's the advice. The advice is to wait until mom and baby are home safe in the event of a pregnancy. The same thing goes for and that's called stork mode. The same thing goes for if there is an emergency. And then you're on storm mode. Like it's, stormy weather. That means trouble. That's like an emergency. And so you would pause the baby steps. And they never change the order, ever. But if you do have an emergency, then you pause the baby steps. You pay minimums on all debt, if there is any. You don't do any investing. You don't do any of this other stuff. You pay minimums on everything, even the house, and you just pile up cash to be able to take care of said emergency. All right, Steamy Deck. Haven't listened in a while. Is Dave back to doing most of the shows, or is it still all other people? I'm not trolling. Okay, thank you for letting us know that. Like a troll never said I'm not trolling, but we'll give this person the benefit of the doubt. I just generally don't like listening to the other personalities anywhere near as much as Dave. That happens. Dave's the OG, of course. I know lots of others feel the same. Some of them, yeah. And I'm curious if he's picked up on it and made any changes, or if it's still 4 out of 15 shows that he's not a part of. Thanks in advance. Well, he was recently on vacation for, I think, a full month before. And sometimes he has where he's weeks off in doing meetings. And he's just in meetings all day instead of doing the show. But that is why he's gotten all of the other hosts. All the other personalities that can host. And true, this is also, nobody lives forever. This is also to ensure that the show and company keeps going after he is no longer with us. So, but for the past, I think 2 weeks, he's done Monday through Thursday. He hardly ever works Fridays, almost never. The last 2 Fridays he worked was the week before and the week after his second most recent book came out. When the last book came out, he didn't really publicize that much. And of course, didn't work the Friday before and after it came out. Slick Rick, 1330. But that's it. I mean, that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it's going to go now. Those people, the personalities, are on the program because the boss, Dave, wants them to be on the program. And so they're going to be on there. So that's just the way it is. It's complaining isn't going to change it. If Dave, the reason they're on there is because Dave wants them on there. He's the boss, and he's also the one that approves himself to have a month-long vacation. Slick Rick 1330 just got out of $30K in credit card debt. What now? Well, if there's more debt, you would continue paying off more debt. It's very easy. Baby steps are right here on the page. On this same page you posted the question on. So let's see. Sometimes, every so often, you can't answer the question with the baby steps, but mostly you can. Mostly. Hi all, I found myself drowning in $30,000 of credit card debt last March. I moved back home, meaning back in with parents. And with parents isn't home necessarily. Home is where you live. Changed jobs, making approximately $60K per year, and put my head down and paid it all of it off in 12 months. Great, as of April 1st. Great, and that is not an April Fool's joke. That is fabulous. All remaining debt I have is tied to a $10,000 car note and $14,500 in student loans. You would pay those off next. My monthly debt obligation total $500 per month. I'm able to save roughly $2,300 to $2,500 per month on average after miscellaneous expenses, while I also coach on the side 9 months a year, which gives me an extra $450 per month to put towards anything. In short, if I repeat this, see what the rest of it is. If I repeat this process, I could save $25,000 to $30,000 the next year to put 10% or more down on a home of my own. Well, first you need to get rid of the rest of that debt. You see, again, you do exactly what the baby steps say. So you don't even have to think about it. You just follow these steps. So you would finish paying off your debt first with only $1,000 emergency fund. That's all you have in savings. You're not saving up money and then paying off stuff. And you're not trying to buy a house while you still have other debt. You do not do that. That is not how it goes. It's not on this list, but step 3B is where you would save the down payment. But before that, grow your $1,000 savings into 3 to 6 months of living expenses. And if you're going to be buying a house, you need it to be a 6-month emergency fund, because houses do be expensive and you can't call the landlord to fix stuff because you're the landlord if you're buying a house. Let's see. In a reasonable commute to my job, justification station there, but I mean, 150 isn't so bad as an average in America, I guess. I'm 26 years old and now just now getting my life back together, and I see my financial freedom coming together, which is very exciting. As my mind races in excitement, I'm trying to formulate my short and long-term goals. No matter what they are, it should still be baby steps. And if those goals don't line up with the baby step, you change your goals to the baby steps, not change the baby steps to your goals. Should I be looking to pay off my car loan now, which I can easily pay off in 4 to 5 months? Yes. Yes, you figured it out. See, it's not that hard. This would in turn reduce my debt obligations to student loans, which are $160 a month. Yeah, or do I save 100% of my money for the down payment? No, you do not buy a house while you have other debt and not a full emergency fund. I've not contributed to my 401k in 2 years, and you leave that off until you have the emergency fund, and you can even not do that. It's already been 2 years though, so probably you should, maybe one more year of not doing that, and you can put it all into the down payment once all your debt is paid off and you have the full emergency fund after that. But by that time, it may be 3 years, and then that's as long as Dave wants you out of saving for retirement. And so I understand needing to save a larger down payment and wanting to do it faster. But since you've already been not retirement contributing for 2 years, just one more year on that. I figured the best to stop all investing activity and put that money towards the large amount of interest that was occurring with my credit card, meaning towards debt. And that was a good plan. Lastly, should I restart? No, you don't do it that you're out of credit card debt. So baby step 4 is right here. Now 2 steps back of that is pay off all debts from smallest to largest. It doesn't say go ahead and invest in retirement if you want. No, it says pay off. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that happens until you're done with step 2. So steps 1, 2, and 3 you do in order, one at a time. And yes, it does not say that there, but I would think it would be self-explanatory. Apparently it is not. And of course, people just try to basically make the baby steps say what they want it to say anyway. Let's see. Sorry, I'm throwing a lot out there. Yeah, nobody says, okay, I'm on step 2, let me do that, and then I'll worry about the other stuff. But no, everybody wants to plan out the whole thing, even though always in motion is the future, as Yoda said. And so let's say, just unsure where to start from here on what feels like a clean slate of new goals. Thank you. Well, sure. And like I said, you can be all excited and think about it, but the main thing is to focus on is that you're on step 2, and that's the only important thing right now. Everything else will work itself out after you are done with step 2. Then you can start thinking about step 3. And so, I mean, there's not much to think about there. You just save up X amount of money, and that's going to be your emergency fund, and you're not going to touch it ever unless there's an emergency. That doesn't become part of your down payment or anything like that. You do not touch that unless there's an emergency. Step 3B, which is not listed here, that is where you would save the down payment, and that means you have no other debt. That means you have then the mortgage that you're going to have. And you have the full emergency fund, and 6 months is what you should have before buying a house, because, again, you're the landlord. You have to fix whatever's broken. And you can, like the average person, not you, because you haven't contributed to 401k in 2 years, but if people have been contributing already, then they can take 3 years off of contributing while they save up a larger down payment faster, up to 3 years. You don't have to take the full 3 off. You can only take 2, you can only take 1, depends on how fast you can save up the money. But yeah, you should just be thinking about paying off the car loan and the student loans right now. And so, yeah, just if you can, work even more if you can. All right, let's see. Smart lady. What up, AJ? How's it going? How long ago was that? I don't look at the chat enough. 4 minutes. Maybe AJ's still watching. Let's see. Close the account or keep it open. AJ, I read a thing that said the Commanders were narrowing down their choice list for second draft pick. And so, I would hope so, right? Because we're getting close to them having to make that pick, so they better be zeroing in on what they want to do with that. Close the account or keep it open. Just paid off 3 debts, 2 are loans, and 1 was a credit card. My question is, do I keep the credit card open? No, you do not. We don't give a crap about credit score. There is no fee for having it. I checked. I did hear that closing a credit card will tank your credit score, which, as it happens, my credit score is already tanked. I don't want to make it worse. You don't need a credit score for anything, and if it's already tanked, you're not going to repair it by keeping that one credit card open. So forget about it. Credit score doesn't matter. Everything you've been told is wrong. By parents, teachers, definitely commercials, definitely investing bros, financial bros, TikTok advice, etc. You do not need a credit score for anything, excuse me. Same with a credit card, you don't need it. Robinhood question, all right? To keep Robinhood or not? I know a lot of people use it. I mean, it was kind of hot for a little while. It's kind of like a fad thing. But there's really no reason. You could just use a more well-known brokerage. Let's see. I slowly began investing in Robinhood in 2020. In early 2023, I stopped investing since our medical bills got too expensive. As of now, I have $2,000 in there. The VIIV ETF is that people love to say exactly what things they're invested in. Is up plus 100-ish dollars. The market seems okay. Am I hesitant to withdraw? On the other hand, I want to withdraw it all and add more to my emergency fund as a buffer. I already have 5 to 6 months worth of expenses, but I just want a buffer in case there are more medical expenses. What would you do? Most times you got to wait 5. Well, it depends on is it I don't know if you can open a Roth account on Robinhood or not. I would assume it's just like any other brokerage and you can. So if it's a retirement advantage account, Roth IRA or even regular IRA, then I think you have to wait 5 years before you can take out even the contributions, which would not trigger the penalty or taxes, because in a Roth IRA you would already paid the taxes on it, and so you can take those out. And of course, if it's a brokerage account, you can also, I think you can do that immediately on those. So I would check into that, because you gotta pay your medical expenses. And so if there wouldn't be any taxes on the contribution, and there is not a penalty on just a brokerage account. That's not a tax advantaged retirement account. But if it is, I think you got to wait 5 years before you can take out the contributions. And of course, if you go beyond the contributions and take it all out, then you're looking at taxes. But you said it only up $100-ish. Then, I mean, you could probably just take the tax hit on those gains. So yeah, but check to see if you can do that. Especially, I don't know if Robinhood would have different guidelines than any other, or different policies than any other brokerages. I would not think so. They have until Thursday. That's right. Is it Thursday when that thing is? I guess it is. All right. So most people think Daniels for the Commanders. Free skill 4486, calling into the show. I'm trying to call into the show with my question. It repeated the intro for 8 minutes and then the line started ringing. That's weird. Repeated the intro for 8 minutes of the show, you mean? And then the line started ringing. It's been ringing for 25 minutes, LOL. While typing this, the intro started again. Do I hang on or hang up and try again? With this kind of thing going on, I do not know. I thought it would normally, it might send you to voicemail, and you can leave a voicemail, but I think those rarely get returned. So in that case, if it's only giving you voicemail, because I don't think after the voicemail and you leave the voicemail, I don't think it lets you, put you in the queue again. I don't think it does that. And so in that case, you would want to hang on again. But if you get ringing, you do want to stay on, because the next thing that happens there is somebody picks up. Question for those who are curious. My husband's grandfather passed away and receives $100,000 in inheritance. We are $30K in debt, personal loan from retirement account and auto loan, both $15K. each, I guess, and fully plan on paying that off immediately. What do we do with the rest? Thanks for any help. Any extra money you apply to whatever baby step you're on. So you're in 2. Hopefully, let's assume you already have the $1,000 as your baby emergency fund, start emergency fund. And so you would pay off that $30,000 in debt. And then you would have $70,000, and that would fill your full emergency fund. And then that puts you on baby step 4. And so then you max out 2024 retirement. You could do that, or you could put a little bit in kid college if that applies, or you could save for down payment of house if you're trying to do that. Basically, you just apply it to whatever baby steps you're on. You just take the whole amount of money, and the baby step 2 part will only take 30, so you'll have 70 left over. And so then you roll that to baby step 3, and you probably don't need 70 unless you need a 6 month of living expenses. Then that might be, depends on your expenses. And then if there's anything left over from that, then you can spread it through 4, 5, and 6. Again, 1, 2, and 3 you do in order, 1 at a time. 4, 5, and 6 you do in order at the same time. Athena, HXC, student loan payment matching. Hey, I'm looking for some advice. I think I already read that one, I thought. On a wonderful benefit my company matches $2,500 in payments towards your student debt. Meaning if I pay $2,500, they match bringing my payment amount total during a year to $5,000. Mine plus employer contribution. Okay. If I pay $4,000 on my loans, my employer still matches only $2,500, bringing my yearly contributions to $6,500. I currently have approximately $20,000 in student loans that I'm making more than the minimum payments on. I have no other debt and fully funded emergency fund. I've gone slightly out of order. Of course you have. Of course you have. Slightly out of order due to the nature of my work / personal risk tolerance for layoff emergencies. Right, so if you're doing your own thing, you still want to get somebody else to weigh in on it. There are big purchases I would like to be able to keep cash for, which is the other place additional income would be funneled. Down payment on a house, my 401k isn't maxed at. You forgot about your debt. Debt, again, is step 2. Any other stuff you want to buy and down payment and stuff, that doesn't happen until 3B. So, I mean, you're already doing it wrong with your out of order with your personal risk tolerance. So you can continue to do it wrong. That's fine. I'm wondering if it's more financially sensible to max the student loan benefit my company offers over more years. So you're going to keep the debt around just so they can pay some of it. So they can pay $2,500 a year of it. That would not be advised by Mr. Ramsey, I assure you. Or if it makes more sense to throw every dollar at the student loans. Yes, baby steps in order always. Even in your situation, even if anything. The only thing that changes the baby steps at all, and it's not changing the order, it's just pausing them, is if you have an emergency or a pregnancy. Storm mode and stork mode. I would technically be leaving free money on the table by not fully utilizing the match over more years. Well, you're also technically leaving money on the table by having taken out loans in the first place. Any thoughts on some calculations, math I could do to optimize my spend amount? No, you stop spending. See, how do I do the baby steps so I can still spend a lot of money even though I have debt still? How can I do that? And we do not have there's no baby step for that, so we don't have a plan for you. So you'll have to continue to do what you want to do, which is fine. Your money, your life, you can do it. But again, why post it on the Dave Ramsey subreddit then? I do not understand people. Different Suite 2800 says save for a house or pay off student loan more aggress. There's no house buying in debt. You have to be on baby step 3B to save the down payment even. So you're doing it wrong. Let's see. I'm a man, 25, male 25. Need help planning my future. I'm financially independent. All right, if you say so. Some background, except for your loans. Some background info. I have a BBA in finance economics. All right, you sure? All right, I'm currently just messing. We all made mistakes. I'm currently cash flowing my master's part-time. Well, that is a great thing there. And I work full-time in a firm earning 1.8K bi-weekly after all taxes, deductions, okay? 25 in TFSA. Monthly contributions, 1,000 to 2,000 in checking, and monthly contributions approximately $1,000, and then approximately $2,000 in checking and $2,000 in high yield saving account. You're not supposed to be doing any of that garbage while you have math. Apparently the finance economics did not include, an hour or so. Probably you can read Total Money Makeover in less than that. You probably didn't check that out at all. Again, they're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit for some reason. It doesn't occur to them that, oh, baby step 2 is pretty high up there. Maybe I need to do that before doing any other dumb stuff I want to do. Approximately $25,000 in student loans, monthly payments, blah, 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 percent, doesn't matter. And none of the numbers matter at this point. It's just you have debt, you're in baby step 2. It's over. Don't need to discuss anything else. Let's say I'll read it though. Why not? That's the whole idea of this stream. No car payments. Well, that's great. I have credit cards. I never carried debt as I use them for bills, groceries. Not advised. Because guess what? Everybody that has debt on them thought they were going to pay it off every month as well until one time they didn't, and then boo, 25% interest. I recently learned what manual underwriting is because of this show prior to oh, so you are familiar with the show. So if you picked up on enough to know what manual underwriting is and you didn't pick up on the no debt thing, that is so weird to me. I've been building... Yeah, but my situation, your situation doesn't matter. It doesn't change the advice. Nothing changes the advice. I've been building my credit score since high school. It's 830, and I don't care about it. You don't need it for anything. I need help determining what a realistic plan to help me buy a house would be. Something like that. Apparently no English in the college. Where you got the economics and, what is it? Economics and finance economics. No English in there. The realistic plan is, that's the whole thing. That's the whole beauty of it. You don't need to determine what the plan is. It's right here for you. It says right here. And let's see, plan to help build a house. Well, it's not written right here, but step 3B is where you save the down payment. So even if you are just reading for this the first time, you can figure, well, if that's down here in the list, then that probably means that I have to do steps 1, 2, and 3 first. So yes, that would be the help, the time that I'm giving you, and the advice that I'm giving you, which he or she thanked in advance for. And I appreciate that, but you're doing it wrong. Baby steps in order answers the question as always. Not always, almost all the time. Still got that thing flying around here. They like the webcam light. Where are we at? Student loan. No, not matching. Save for house or student loan more aggressively. We did that one, didn't we? Oh, is this the one? The man 25. Okay, yeah. Finance economics. Yes, that is the one. Okay. So yeah, baby steps in order. Imagine that. As in bye-bye. 32616. Toyota leases almost up. 2021 Tacoma. My Tacoma. Boom, 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 boom. My lease is coming to an end in the next month or so, and looking at the current market has my stomach turning. My lender is currently with Ally, and my estimated buyout is about $31,000. I currently pay $336 a month, and my Tacoma has around 33K miles. There's nothing wrong with it, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Looking around, however, has me worried since most used and new vehicles are insanely expensive. I've not gone to the dealer to discuss buyout. Involving the dealer is going to cost you the most money. Buy and sell private sale to make sure you, the buyer, and the seller get the best deal, because if the dealer's involved, guess what? Dealer going to take a bite out of the profit. But after running numbers myself, I'd be around $500 to $600 a month. What is the best plan of action? Well, you didn't say if you have the money. Generally, and what you didn't say what step you're on, but generally, if you're in steps 1, 2, or even 3, it's you turn it in and you don't buy it. You buy yourself a cheap car. Most used and new vehicles are insanely expensive. It depends on where you are and how much you have looked and how old you're willing to buy. And so a lot of it is your personal preference that you have put in your head, where you have an idea of what you don't want to do. I don't want to get one older than 2010. Something like that. So it just depends on what baby step you're on, and so forth. If you have $31,000 cash, buy it. Otherwise, you let it go and you buy something with cash. Good luck. Cobb JJ 1997. What to do with our car? Our car. That's from the second Harry Potter movie, I think. Ron Weasley said that. Hey everyone. Hi guys. My fiancé and I have paid off all of our debt in the last 2 years, with the exception of our car, which is a 2019 Mazda 3. And why didn't we pay that off? People, I don't understand. I don't understand people, why they did. At the time we got it, we were in a desperate situation. Of course you were. And bad credit, of course. So we got screwed on the interest rate. So now sitting at 12.12. Well, you could have bought not a 2019 Mazda. You could have bought an older used car instead. We're also upside down $10K on the loan. We have $24K left on it, but it's valued most likely around $14 to $15. Yeah, you screwed yourself up big time, didn't you? My questions is what to do from here. My credit has since improved. However, being $10K upside down makes it nearly impossible to refinance, and the interest rate makes me do whatever. Yeah, we don't like that interest rate, but you're allowed to, let's see, what are you, 10K upside down? You're allowed to get a 10K loan to get rid of that 24K loan. You can do that, and that will cause you to have 14K less debt. And so Dave does allow you to, in that case, to get out from under, because you're upside down, because you made that stupid mistake. And we've all, who among us hasn't bought a new car? Granted, the only one I did buy was when I was 16. And since then, I was like, oh, that didn't work out that great. So you can do that, but you also have to get another car. And let's see, at the time we got it, we're in a desperate situation. So if you don't have a car again, or is that a desperate situation again? And with bad credit, there's probably not much you can do about it. And so you might not even be able to get the 10K loan. You might just have to suck it up and pay it off. And so what you would do is you stop living life. you stop spending money on anything except absolute necessities, and it's gonna suck. Fiance and I have paid off all our debt, and you're not supposed to do that either. You're not supposed to combine finances or buy off anything, or buy anything together with someone you're not married to. So you're doing everything you're doing here is bad. So yeah, so the idea, you just let that go. Oh, no, that's the leased vehicle. No, you're just going to have to make more money. Simple as that. You do whatever you can to make more money. You spend as little as absolute possible. And that's not going to be fun at all. You had your fun already when you bought the new car. Leasing a car after having a paid off one. Again, no. And this is not a Dave thing. This is Car and Driver magazine said leasing is the most expensive way to operate a motor vehicle. I know leasing is a heated topic around here, but hear me out. I think the person posted this multiple times because it wasn't from 3 days ago, or it's just the same thing and somebody said, or somebody just said, hear me out on there again. Let's see. So I know leasing is a heated topic around here, but I'm going to type something here in just a second that's going to blow your mind, and it's going to change make all of the Ramsey advice irrelevant. People, man, unbelievable. All right. I purchased a family home for 25% below market value. We'll be selling our current home that we owe $280K on and is worth $800K at the current 2.75 rate. The new home we will be financing $500K at 7%, but the value is $1.2 million. All right, so I guess they're throwing $250K down payment on it, apparently. Okay. Currently on a Tesla Model Y outright. I could lease a 2023 Ford Mach-E electric for $0 down and $400 a month and sell the Model Y and take the $35K and apply to the new mortgage financing for $65K instead of $500K. I know leasing very well. I used to broker lease deals, and the factors in this lease all make for a great deal, but I am going from 0 payment to $400. Let me hear those opinions and locked. New comments cannot be posted. Must have gotten contentious in there. And it's just dumb. It's stupid. No debt. No leasing. All right, let's see. Old baby, 67. I feel like that every once in a while. I'm 1968 though. Mortgage 30-year versus 15-year. All right. So the only reason that people want to get the 30-year mortgage is because it makes them think they can afford the house, because then that lowers the down payment. It also adds additional 15 years of interest. All right, let's see. I understand you pay less interest total with 15-year term and you get a lower rate, but this allows me to get it now and what I want to do. Let's see. My goal is to pay off home as fast as possible. Well, then you don't get that expensive of a house, sir or madam. You're doing it wrong. However, I work in sales, so my income can really swing between months, even worse to have a freaking too much house then. Gosh. Wouldn't it make more sense for me to get the longer term, hammer away as much as I can every month, but can also have peace of mind in case our industry goes through a slow period? No, you know what would give you peace of mind? If you don't get a freaking house yet until you're able to afford it. Dumb, man. Dumb. Just dumb. All right, let's see. Slump Boy Gary. File for bankruptcy. That is the last thing to do. Yes, Dave did it. He didn't do it until they were going to come start taking stuff out of his house. And he actually, once he owed, I think, $1 million. And he owed, I think he got it down to like 100,000 or something like that. Out of the million, he got it down to 100,000 or something like that. And they didn't give him any more time after that. No, but that was 3 years though. So, but anyway, so Dave did it, but it's still not recommended. It's the last possible option. You exercise all options instead of that. I have about $1,000 overdrafted in my bank account because of not having work for a month. Well, then you have to stop spending. I have $20,000 due on car with payments up to date. You sell that car immediately, right now. Sell that car. $6,000 in credit card debt. Why are you using credit cards if you were out of work for a month? I mean, hopefully, it's still going to be the same 6,000, but hopefully that was from before. Hopefully you're not out of work and then you're still spending money like you are at work. Next month will be second month in a row not able to make payments. Oh, on credit cards. Okay. I believe it's 90 days of no payments until they send you to collections. Maybe a little bit longer than that. I don't know that that's true, but you definitely get in trouble and your credit score, which doesn't matter anyway, would get. Yeah. So basically, if you're in dire straits as far as money, and you can't pay it, you get necessities first. The 4 walls. Shelter, transportation, food, and clothing. You do those before making any debt payments. Debt to income ratio is 20%, and what I owe is less than what I make. Oh, so if you're working now, you just work like a dog and try to get out of it. 30,000 owed and yearly income of 40,000. I see what you're saying. Okay, my bills and food come out to about $2,000. You try to get that lower. Cancel the cable. Cancel anything you can cancel. And usually I make about $2,500 per month working full time. Okay, since losing work, I've only been able to do what? I've only been able to make about $1,000 in 6 weeks. Sorry for my comments being everywhere. All right. Well, again, the bankruptcy is the last thing you do. You gotta probably find a job where you're working full time. Gotta work full time, and you're not spending money on anything, and you do necessities first, and you're just consider your credit score gone and don't care about it anymore, which you should get that way anyway if you're following Dave's advice. Daffrey, April, safer house or fully fund retirement? Guess who? That's up to your choice on that one. How about that? Now, and when the baby steps allow you to make a decision, definitely be grateful for that and do that then. This is not on every single baby step. Nope, just baby step 3B/4 is where you get that chance. You don't get the option on the rest of them. On step 5, you do have the option of not helping your children or not having any. You get that option. But the rest of them, and you don't have to buy a house, but the rest of them you have to do. Hopefully you don't have to do 2 because you never had any debt to begin with. That would be fabulous. All right, let's see. 44 years old, debt-free. I have a fully funded emergency fund and now looking at baby steps 4, 5, and 6. Recently separated from my husband and I'm renting. I have no savings beyond the 6 months of expenses, and you shouldn't ever. Except for, maybe sinking funds, like for new tires, for example. That kind of thing. For known expenses that are coming up for Christmas, that kind of thing. Known expenses coming up that you know about, you can have, sinking funds for those. And that's basically cash flowing them ahead of time is what you're doing. My retirement account has $75K in it. I know Dave Ramsey says 15% into retirement, then save for kids' college, then save for a house, pay off house. Yeah, that is all 4 of those at the same time. So in steps 1, 2, and 3, you're taking the snowball amount, which means everything after you are done with necessary expenses. and some you budget as well can be included in that, but you're not living high on the hog when you're doing baby steps 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time, and then you get to 3B, which is in between 3 and 4, and step 4, which is investing. But so basically that would all be at the same time. 3B and 4, you would basically just do just those two in any percentage in each you would want to do, and maybe hold off for a couple years on. You wouldn't be paying off the mortgage early because you don't have one yet. And even if you have children, you can still wait a bit while you do for 2 or 3 years while you save up a larger down payment for the house. Let's see. However, I'm so far behind in retirement. That's too bad. I have contribution room from previous years totaling $275. Not anymore, you don't. Not anymore, you don't. As of tax day, that was over. Posted this 3 days ago. You do not anymore. Should I still only put 15% in and then save for the house? It's up to you how fast you want a house. You can keep it at 15% and save what you can for the down payment. But it's up to you. Or continue renting. Fully max out my retirement with catch-up contributions after setting aside kids' college. Right. So you can do any of that any way you want to. And you can even, depending on how old the kids are, you can even wait on them for a couple years to do step 6. So all that's up to you, New York, New York. So yeah, choices. You get your choice right there on baby steps 3/4, 3B/4. So Charles, 170, manual underwriting. And that's not the automatic underwriting. It's the manual underwriting. Let's see so I would love to hear stories from those that have gone through the process. Didn't go through the process of 3rd grade, apparently. What did it look like, and what are your feelings on the experience? I feel like, for me, please no other comments. It's the internet. You can't tell the internet not to make other comments except exactly what I'm asking about. Just want to hear the stories, the good, bad, and the ugly, LOL. I personally know people that have gotten houses through manual underwriting, but I did not do it. When my ex-wife and I bought a house, we went the regular way because we had credit scores. But so I'm not aware of it, but I don't have any bad stories of it, and I don't remember hearing any. Like even people that call in the Ramsey show, I don't remember people calling in and saying I couldn't get a house through manual underwriting. I have heard some that say that some lenders don't do that or don't want to do that. And so then you would just call Churchill Mortgage. Panther City Ski, PhD program advice. Hey, y'all. I recently was accepted into a fully funded PhD program. Is that better than the fully funded emergency fund? And we'll be getting a whopping $17,000 stipend throughout my years there on top of waving at the tuition. My wife is a speech pathologist and makes $75,000 to $80,000 currently. So all in all, financially best PhD experience compared to most. Indeed. That said, we have 0 consumer debt. Great. Only $120,000 in student loans between us that we have actively been working to pay off and plan to pay off while in school. Great. I'm curious though, as we continue our Ramsey-esque what's making it Ramsey-esque instead of Ramsey? Over the next few years, what advice would y'all give us as far as preparing for after program life? We talk about this frequently on our neighborhood walks, but we both think we should be aggressive to pay off the loans despite the hidden combined pay going down. and put some money to the side for a down payment on the first house once I graduate. You do not be in a hurry to buy the first house. You follow the baby steps. Outside of really basic ideas, I'm curious if anyone who went through a PhD program had any advice on what they wish they had done to set themselves up best for the career side of life. Well, that doesn't matter. The fact that you're doing a PhD, that has nothing to do with it. Doesn't change the advice at all. I know you'd like to think so, probably, but it doesn't. So it's still no other debts. All debts paid off. That means all your students' loans gone, and then your full emergency fund, and only then do you start saving for the down payment. So if you don't do that, you're getting an F, and I will not pass you in. Then you have the PhD in DUMB, as Dave likes to say. So yeah, it's not you're not looking for advice for the program. You're looking for advice because you're in one, and it's the same advice for no matter what job you have. Same advice, baby steps, easy, so easy. Yeah, but what about my situation? Nope. No exceptions. You're either on them or you're paused if there's an emergency. South Presentation 83. Should I sell my car? If you got to ask, usually yes. Hey everyone, I currently own a fully paid off 2021 BMW, which I can sell for $20,500 as is. Great. It needs a boot to $2,300 in repairs, mainly for brakes and suspension. Thanks to the rough roads around here. All right, if you say so. The car has clocked about 55,000 miles. Maintenance, parts, and fuel are pricey, which is typical for luxury vehicles, but the BMW has been reliable engine-wise. Considering these factors, I'm thinking about switching to a more economical daily driver like a Toyota RAV4. How are you going to buy that, sir? I drive a lot, and using a luxury vehicle for daily commuting doesn't seem practical or cost-effective. Nope. Plus, I plan to buy a sports car for fun in the future, and would need a reliable daily driver. The idea is to sell or trade the BMW eventually and keep the Toyota indefinitely. Wait. You're not selling it before you get the Toyota? Plus the addition of a sports car in the future. Additionally, I'm torn between buying a newer model 2018 to 2022 Toyota or opting for an older one like 2014. The newer models offer more features, better safety, and they seem more efficient, but the older ones are more budget friendly. Right. 23, debt free, earning around $6,000 a month, and currently living with my parents. Yay! Somebody didn't say living at home. My income is also random month by month, but that's the average so far. Given this, I'm torn between selling the BMW now or continuing to use it, given the fact that most modern BMW are pretty reliable engine-wise. What are your thoughts? Would you suggest keeping the BMW a bit longer or going ahead with the switch? And should I opt for a newer or older Toyota model? You didn't say what baby step you're on. It matters. Definitely, you're not buying new anyway, so that's good. And you have to buy completely in cash. Other than that, I don't have any advice. You can do whatever you want to on that as far as your preferences, but you're not having an additional car there for no reason. One to be a fun car, and one to have it. Again, it depends on what baby step you're on. And if you're buying in cash. If it's a low baby step and you're not buying in cash, it's a no for me, dog. Ancient Mycologist 130. Why do people bother calling in? All right, well, let me read this first. Instead of answer, sometimes I answer based on just the title, and I shouldn't do that probably. Because every once in a while, sometimes there'll be something in there that change it, but mostly not. Mostly. Some financial situations are truly unique and require some insight from Dave Ramsey. Oh, you think so? Yeah, well, sometimes. Sometimes there can be something in there that does change it again. But basically, it's how the baby steps are written. And the details you can give may change what baby step you're on from what you think you're on, that kind of thing. But I feel a large portion of the calls which I have XXX amount debt, 4X's, XXXXX amount of debt. What do I do? If you've listened for any length of time, you have to know Dave's formula. You would think I think my colleaguist and I would get along. It's a variation of the same answer pretty much every time. He sells financial advice to the financial illiterate, so it's a simple equation. Why bother calling with the basic debt questions if you know what he's going to say? Well, I think sometimes people are too close to their own situation to think clearly about it. And just like you saying some financial situations are truly unique and require some insight, not really. Not really. But yeah, they just can't, if it was somebody else's situation, they could look at the baby steps and say, oh yeah, you're right here, and so you should do this, and do it this way, and this is what baby step you're on, so you start from there and you go through the baby steps. But since it's their situation, and they're like, well, for me, like that kind of thing, they can't apply it to themselves. Because, and it can happen. So, especially people that do have XXX amount of money in savings, too, and the debt as well, they're like, I'm not in baby step 2, I'm already investing. Well, you are in baby step 2, and you're doing it wrong. But yeah, people are too close to their own situations. That's why people can't self-diagnose mentally either. Because they're too close to their own situation and they're in their own head too much, where they can't be partial, or impartial rather. They can't be impartial about the advice they give themselves in their head. Even if they see it right here in front of them, baby steps, it's not that difficult. And so, but everybody, and then you get some people, you get the snowflakes that think, oh, well, I'm special, I'm individual. I don't know for sure that that's like the previous question was. One of the previous questions was, oh, I got accepted to a PhD program, so I'm different than everybody else. No, you're not. Zealous Ideal, Sun 8009, focus on paying off mortgage. Paying mortgage off or saving money. You don't save any extra money other than the emergency fund until step 6 is done. And of course, you're doing investing in retirement, save for kid college, and putting any extra on the mortgage to pay it off early instead of doing extra savings. You get on step 7 and you have all the other baby steps done and you're still investing 15% at least. You can invest whatever you want. You can save whatever you want at that time. But until the house is paid off, you do not have extra savings above your full emergency fund outside of sinking funds for known expenses. Let's see. Mortgage on 2-bedroom condo. Emergency fund, 15%. 529 investment for child college. I would like to eventually own a home with a yard again. Should I focus on saving for a 20% down payment, or do I focus on paying off my condo mortgage? Pay it off, and then you'll get it back. When you can eventually own a home, pay it off. Why have money just sitting around being saved when you can pay off that mortgage and you save that interest there? Follow the steps. How about following the steps? Got an idea? Follow the steps. And step 6 says pay off your mortgage early. I mean, if I were to buy a home, you got, who's that? Jess from New Girl on there. I mean, if I were to buy a home, I would sell the condo and I would use the funds from the condo for a home. But I don't know that the timing of it all would work out, meaning selling the condo and buying a home. Yeah, you can do a thing, and it happens all the time. People, I don't understand, are so confused by it, but you can do a thing where you can sell the house and you still have an extra 2 weeks to move and finalize buying your house before you move out of there, or a month or something. It can be whatever you want it to be, and to buy it, the buyer just has to agree to that. Let's see. But the timing of all work. Selling the condo and buying a home. What should I do? I'm not planning on doing this anytime in the next 2 years, but I'm trying to plan for the future. Thanks in advance. You don't have to, because guess what? Paying off the condo mortgage is saving it, because when you pay it off, or I mean, when you sell it, then you'll be getting that money back. So, yeah. Oh, hey, look, we're at the mid-roll. How about we do some plugs? I've even seen them down at the bottom on the ticker, but in case you don't know who I am, just going, why are people whining about this? Why do people want to do it wrong? It's because they don't want to sell themselves, no, is why. But I'm here anyway. And I am Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free, yes, free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That is a video conferencing appointment. So it will look much like this does, except it won't have the logos and stuff all over the place. We'll just be talking to each other. You can email me about coaching or anything on my YouTube channel at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, to Cash App, $Coach Steve Money, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money, of course. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. All right, and as always, thank you so much for watching. And now, back to the questions. Oh, upcoming streams, of course. This stream is answering your financial questions with Coach Steve Money. And that is Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, the Ramsey Show After Show, and that comes on right after the Ramsey Show video, ends on the days that I can do it. And the next day that I can do it is Tuesday, April 30th. Which is also the season finale of The Curse of Oak Island. All right, back to the questions. Did I do that one? Or saving money? Yeah, did that one. Anonymous. Earnest payment history pending. Scheduled payment. Minus $7,054.70. Peace out, student loans. Okay, I guess that means that's how much they paid off. Or they're getting a refund or something. It wouldn't actually be, the scheduled payment would be 0. It might be the thing, but that might be the amount that they paid off. Or the final payment. Who knows? Asperger's R Us 87457B. Or maybe this is something to do with the president's. No, that wouldn't be enacted yet by April 18th. And so, which that was 3 days ago. So, cool. So hopefully that means they paid it off themselves. Great. Asperger's R Us 457B retirement question. My work offers an optional 457B, which I did pre-tax to lower my tax bracket. That doesn't lower your tax bracket. That just doesn't take the taxes out on that amount. I mean, I guess it just taking that amount out could put you in a lower tax bracket overall, I think. Let's see. I currently have $100K into it. All right. Recently up a Roth IRA through Fidelity as well as my own. Oh, as well on my own. Okay, great. I realize that my 457B also has Roth. This Roth I can do up to $23,000. Well, but you wouldn't be lowering your tax bracket then, sir. Might you have realized that it's better to not pay taxes on the millions of dollars that it could be making, or it could have made, the growth of it. You don't pay taxes on that. You don't want to do that. especially in retirement. Don't you need that money to retire on? You pay the taxes on the contributions now because that's going to be a much smaller amount. Let's see. This Roth, I can do up to $23,000 into it, right? Should I switch over to start doing Roth in it for the 457B and let the 100K alone and grow? Yeah. Switch over to start doing Roth in it for the... You can do either if you can't contribute. I'm assuming you can contribute more to get to your 15% than just the Roth IRA. So you would want to keep the work option, but you don't even have to like roll that over into a Roth, because you will have to pay all the pre-tax you did. You'll have to pay taxes on all of those contributions. So on 100K then, unless some of that's growth. But you can do, I think you can do whatever you want to. You can just leave that 457B the way it is and just let it grow like it is. And you can open up a Roth 457B with them, with your company, and start having contributions going there. You can do either one. They may make you choose one or the other, so you might have to roll it, but that again would be a tax event for you. I also have a pension that I have for retirement as well. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you're doing at least 15%. The pension is only going to count for half of whatever you're putting in. So say you're putting in 8% of your gross income into that pension, that would only count as 4 towards the 15%. Just because pensions do not do as well as the market is the reason for that. Quirky Salad, 6870. Pay off condo or apply to a Roth. If you're already, well, let's read it first. My wife and I were married in October and moved into our home shortly thereafter. I sold my previous home, I was going to say precious. Precious. No, Yoda is not, spacing on his name. What's the guy's name? Gollum. But we still have her condo that we decided to use as a rental. Now, just because you have an extra house, because you get married, that doesn't mean it's a great idea to... Let's be landlords! That doesn't mean that's a great idea. If it's working for you, great. If you like it, great. Mainly because of the location and numbers on it just seem to make sense to it. Okay, let's see if there's a problem. We have a year's worth of emergency fund. That's too many. That's too much. Should only have 6 months. I contribute 15% of my income to various retirement accounts. She does 6% company match, as well as maxing out her HSA account. So she's not doing 15, so she needs to be doing 15. We have no debt except the mortgages on our home and the condo, and are able to put back roughly $1,000 each month into savings. You would sell that condo, or you can put it in baby step 2 and pay it off immediately. Let's see. I thought I opened this already. Did I just open it? I just opened it in a new tab. Open link in a new tab. There it is. Weird. All right. Are able to put back roughly $1,000 each month into savings. You're not supposed to do that. You already got too much savings in your year-long emergency fund. The condo roughly $1,500 a month, and the mortgage on is $820, including HOA. It's 3.75 interest rate. Questions center around this: would we be better suited to taking the extra $1,000 we have each month, along with the profit on the condo rent, and pay down the condo mortgage faster to create positive cash flow? If I figured correctly, it could be paid off in 4 or 5 years. Or you also take your 12-month emergency fund and you take that down to 6 months of emergency fund, and then you pay that thing off even faster than 4 or 5 years. Would be a baby step 2 thing. Apply the condo rent profit alone to the condo mortgage. No, that's not going to be it. Pay itself down naturally. Nope. No, 15 year, no. Because you're not even supposed to have that unless you paid cash for it. Let's see, and apply the extra $1,000 each month we have to Roth IRA. Edit just a little more info. My wife and I are in mid-30s. Edit 2 for clarification. My retirement breakdown is 6% 401k, 4% company, 6% 401k with company match, 4% company Roth, 5% company stock purchase plan, 15% stock discount immediate vest. You should be immediately selling those then. My wife does 6% if you can. 6% 401k and 8 into her HSA, which is used as an investment. It is, but she needs to be doing 1 more percent. It's 15% of gross household income. Also, the condo breakdown as of now is this. Property value is around the $240K range, and current balance on the mortgage is $99K. Advice appreciated. Yes, sell that off, cut expenses. I mean, not sell it off, either sell it or treat it like it's a baby step 2 debt and you don't do anything else with money except pay that rental off if you want to be a landlord. But otherwise, you're not supposed to even have that because you're supposed to buy rentals completely in cash. A lot of people do take that as a thing. But, you know, I mean, you have enough serious problem with it, and then there goes your profit per month. Everybody think, well, the renter is paying the mortgage. Yeah, until something breaks that you have to fix. K8, the Great, all right. Now, normally, when your username is the Great, you normally think it's a 12-year-old. Definitely somebody on the internet. Anyway, zero-based business accounting. All right, I am starting a pet sitting business, and I'm pretty overwhelmed with trying to set up the business side of it. I just wanted to play with animals and get paid for it as a side hustle. Great. And I have a question I'm hoping someone here can help me with. I've been tracking my personal finances with Dollar for years, and I love it. Glitches aside. It has glitches? My husband's income was pretty consistent, and we set up our envelopes every month, then dragged and dropped. Let me open it. The rest of it. It's a story. Not quite War and Peace, but it's pretty long. Boom, boom, boom. Set our envelopes every month and then dragged and dropped transaction in the envelope. So easy. But I found a dozen different business accounting apps, and all of them have their pros and cons. But the question I have for you guys specifically is, how can I make envelopes for my business in the accounting softwares? I don't know that you can. I would imagine you might have to make your own spreadsheet that does that. And you could also make another every dollar account and just have business expenses in that. It seems to me that each program just tracks expenses and revenue and give you those 2 numbers at the top. Like there's one big bucket of what yeah, I mean, that makes sense for a business, I guess. But, yeah, she wants it to be like every dollar. I want peace of mind with my business that I have with my personal finances. Yep, that's great. And you got to be thinking about that. A lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people just think, I'll go into business and I'll do this and I'll, do that. And then they don't pay attention to the business numbers. They pay attention to those even less than they do to their personal finances. But yeah, zero-based personal finances. Yeah, you can't always do that. So you should have retained earnings in your business, and that's basically like a business emergency fund. So it can certainly be done, but let's see, envelope type functionality. I don't know. The main functionality I need beyond every dollar is generating and tracking invoices and tracking receipts and mileage for taxes. There's some other accounting software things that would be nice too. Yeah, you might have to write it. You might have to write it to do all that. Or just go without the envelopes part of it and do that part in your head. are on a spreadsheet. So yeah, might not exist. Slow but a bro. All right. Can I expect to get 12% with a 401k and a Roth? What do you mean get 12%? I'm on baby step 2 and I'm projecting to be on baby step 4 in about 2 years. I'm going to go ahead and think in advance about investing. How I might get an average of 12% return on my traditional 401k plus a Roth. I don't see how it works. Can it be done? Yeah. It can be. You just have to have managed funds that beat the index every year. S&P 500 index makes, on average, 10% a year. And so, if you have managed mutual funds that beat that, then yeah, you'll have 11 or 12, at least. When I reach baby step 4, I project my income to be 130. Yeah, see, but all that could change too. All that could change. You're trying to plan too much of it out. You're trying to do all the math now, and none of those numbers will be the same. Almost certainly none of them will be exactly as you think, based on the historic 202% annual income increase. Yeah, and again, that might not happen either. None of those numbers might be the right ones, and you never know what life will throw at you. Maybe hopefully you'll get to baby step 4 quicker than you think as well. And so then again, you'd have to throw all the numbers out of the window, but everybody wants to figure it all out ahead of time. 15% of that income is $19,500 a year. My employer does 5% match. So if I meet that, I'm contributing contributing $6,500. The max Roth contribution limit is $7,000, right? That leaves $6,000, which Dave suggests to put back into the traditional 401k. Yes. So what he's talking about is the idea. Match comes first, because that's 100% return on investment right there. So it's match from your employer first, as far as investing order. Secondly would be Roth, because, as I said before, the taxes on the growth, paying all of those, would be way, way, way more than the taxes on the contributions. So you would do Roth next. So if your employer, which you could check, this person could also check with their employer to see if they have a Roth 401k. Now, the thing with the Roth 401k is that if you have that, any match they give you has to be put in a traditional 401k. So your traditional 401k doesn't necessarily have to be closed or moved over or anything like that. You could just start putting contributions in the Roth 401k. And so at that point, then you would have enough where you wouldn't even have to contribute to your personal Roth, because you could just do it all at work. So, but regardless, it's match, then Roth, either if it's Roth IRA or Roth 401k, and then to your traditional 401k. Let's see. If it's true that the average return of a 401k is between 5 and 8%, no, it depends on what the investments in are that's inside the 401k. I mean, I mean, people do say that all the time. It's like, what are you invested in? And they say 401k or Roth IRA. That's just the account type that you have. That's not the investments inside the account. And if you open your own, like say you open your own Roth IRA, let's say Fidelity, you open your Roth IRA account at Fidelity. You send the money from your bank into your account, your Roth IRA account at Fidelity, and so then it has X amount of dollars in it. And if you don't buy any investments with that, it will make about like a bad savings account at a brokerage. is basically what that does. It does earn a little bit, but not that much interest. And so, yeah, the 401k is not the investment. That is just the account type. And so once you get the account typed open and money in there to fund buying whatever investments you want to do, and that was where your managed mutual funds come in. And you do want to do manage. Dave recommends manage for retirement because they can beat the Roth. He says 40% of managed funds are not beat the Roth, but beat the index funds. And when they beat them by enough to take care of the difference between the index fund expense ratio and the managed fund expense ratio. Example, for the last year, I have a fund that beat the index by 9%. And the difference in expense ratio was 0.3%. I think I got it covered. Everybody trying to be so smart with the math. Let's see. True, the average return. So you can't just say that between 5 and 8%. Let's assume 5 to be safe. All right. Breakdown looks like this. You don't need to because you should not be accepting 5. Because you should be getting 10% average per year at minimum, at bare minimum. 6,500 plus 6,500 employer match at 5% equals a real return of 10%. Of my original 6,500. Did I do that right? I don't think so. I hate math theory, or economic theory and stuff like this. Let's see. So $6,500. It's just so you don't have to make it equal anything. 6,500 and your employee gives you 6,500, so that's a total of $13,000. And so $13,000 at 5%. Oh, so 10% of your original 6,500. Yeah, I guess, but you don't need to do it like that. You can just do it based on the amount you have in there, which is $13,000. Instead of doing extra math, saying, okay, so it's 65 times 10% instead of times 5%. All right. 7,000 at the S&P 5 historic average, 12. I think it's currently about 10. It's been between 10 and 11 this year, I think. And 6,000, 7,000, 12%. Yeah, so why wouldn't you... I don't know why you're accepting lower amounts in your 401k. Why are you accepting a lower amount? If you can accept that if you're saying $7,000 and that's going to make 12% for the historic average, then why would you settle for? I mean, you would just buy the same thing you have in your Roth IRA, and if you don't, you buy the closest thing you can get to it instead of accepting the 5 and 8, between 5 and 8. That's weird. I don't understand that. If I did my math right, that's 9.2%. What? You're talking about the average between 5 and 12 and 10? I don't know what you're doing, son. If I did my math right, however, we can assume the upper end of the 401k average performance, then and only then can I reach 12.3%. A median performance would be 10.75%. I guess 10.75% is pretty decent, but it is short of the 12% Dave often talks about. I didn't account for taxes, but that may make the difference. I have no idea how to calculate taxes in that. You don't have to. You have to pay taxes on everything that you make. The 401k, yes, you'll have to pay taxes on that. when you take the money out of that 401k account, you will have to pay taxes on the amount of growth. Absolutely. But and I can appreciate the overthinking here, but you're overthinking it. So you're gonna have it. So look at it. So check this out. Okay, your premise here is that the average return of 401k is between 5 and 8%. So yes, that's gonna lower it when you have this between, and you, especially if you go down with the lowest part that's 5, and the only thing that's making 12% is your Roth IRA because that has SP 500 in it. The answer is not to do more math and not worry about the math. The answer is to get 401k funds that you can buy within your 401k at work that better meet, if not also beat, the S&P 500. So you're thinking wrong. Locked posts must have got contentious in there. Probably people saying, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing all this math? And again, you don't need to. How about you do baby step 2 stuff now? Plenty of time to figure that stuff out later. And you might not even be working at the same place either. So too much stuff can change. So it was a waste of time. I mean, that's, some people would say that's what this stream is. I don't think so. I enjoy doing it very, very much. That's why I keep doing it. Slow but a bro. Again, that person posted previously. Your favorite retirement calculator. What retirement calculator is your favorite to use? Free stuff only, please. Trying to finish baby step 2, LOL. I don't think the person laughed out loud. I think the actual laughing out loud that people do that type LOL is probably below 1%. Just a guess. I just use Dave's. Actually, I don't use the retirement calculator. They do have a retirement calculator, but you can get the same information basically. The retirement throws other things in there, other amounts and such in there. But the investment will just tell you how much the investment will grow. So, and that's, go to RamseySolutions.com, click on free tools, and go down to investment calculator and see there's the retirement calculator. Let's see if that, the retirement calculator. What does that, that doesn't have anything extra. What? Let's see. No. Oh, this has where you can, it doesn't look like it's in. I thought it used to be different, but now, like, it asks you questions about your life beforehand and so forth. Now it looks like it just is basically the investment calculator, and then it funnels you to a SmartVestor Pro. Probably all of those links probably take you to a SmartVestor Pro link, or to sign up for one, is what I'm guessing. So it looks like it's the same thing now, but the investment calculator, you just put in your current age, the age you want to retire, the amount you already have in investments, how much you'll contribute monthly, and what do you think the annual return would be. And it does still say here, historically, the 30-year return of the S&P 500 has been roughly 10 to 12%. Right. And that's correct. Let interest finish my emergency fund goal. No. People always want to do other stuff with money, then do the baby steps with them. Let's see. Simply, 3 months of interest will get me to a fully funded 6-month emergency fund. Yes, debt-free except for the house. Great. Detail is just ... A gauntlet of gift-giving holidays coming up the next 3 months. Anniversary, birthdays, graduation. I'll cash flow it all with some breathing room. Most of these holidays are for my kids and wife. Okay, another component. I have a medical bill coming in on the 30th this month. 1.1K. I can pay that in cash today, but I'm waiting because we have 2 health insurance companies and one didn't pay at all yet, so I'm waiting to see what the final amount will be. What would Dave do, Flair? Okay, so all of those you can put in your budget and you can fund those before you have the leftover money, which is your snowball amount, and that would go to what this baby step that you're on, which is step 3, to do the emergency fund. Boom, boom, boom. You can also not spend as much. That's an option as well. You can also skip some of the birthdays if it's not your kids and wife. Maybe limit it to kids and wife and just don't do it this year. It's up to you. One insurance company didn't pay it, so I'm waiting to see what the final amount will be. Hopefully a few hundred under 1.1K. Okay. To be specific, I have like 5.97%. 5.97 months saved plus 1.1K to pay for the hospital bill, even if the cost is 1.1K. I see. So that's the thing. So if the bill is, I don't know, 800, then boom, emergency fully funded, actually large surplus. Well, you don't want that to happen either. You just want to have 6 months, and then the rest of your money you put on the baby steps. Let me know if more detail is necessary. It's not. I'm just tired, burnt, and want to spend a bit more after paying off all debt a few months ago and building up my emergency fund. And you can't wait 0.03 months worth before you start doing that. If you finish that in full emergency fund off, why wouldn't you have enough money to do all this? You said you'll cash flow it all with some breathing room. Why can't you? How much can that 0.03 months be? How much could that possibly be? So let's see. So he's going. Oh, so if the bill is 800, he has one. So that's $300. Finish off the emergency fund with $300, and then why can't you get that done and cash flow all this stuff at the same time? I'm not understanding that. $300 should not be for somebody on how much does it say? It doesn't say how much they make, but I don't know what you got going on, dude. But $300. You can't do that before a gauntlet of gift-giving holidays coming up the next 3 months. When does that start? Like again, it's probably people overthinking it. You know, why are you overthinking it? You're overthinking it because you've combined, I guess, the emergency fund and this 1.K and started getting your head about that and so forth. And so I don't understand why people do the things they do. I don't get it. It's 0.03 months. It's $300. Cash flow that this month, and then next month you have the cash flow to do the other stuff. And then you still have that 1.1K saved in order to do that. So no, you don't let interest finish your emergency fund goal. I'm sorry, that's just dumb. I mean, you're doing the advice correctly, but you're making it weird. You made it weird, is what you did. You made it weird. Somewhere kindly, 3928, Canadian fan that needs help. A. They didn't put A in there. Hi everyone. Hi guys. Hi guys. A. I'd love to get some direction on how to move forward with our financial situation. My wife and I just purchased our first home. We're Canadian and in our mid-20s. Congratulations on both of those. We're also expecting our first child by the end of 2024. I wanted to ensure that we had our priorities straight, so would love a recommendation on how to proceed. We have absolutely zero credit card debt. Excellent. but do have a mortgage and recently purchased a new car late last year. Do you mean you have a car payment? That puts you on baby step 2, even in Canada. Income $7,500. After taxes, that's monthly, $7,500, $90K annually. Debt, mortgage balance. The car that they stupidly got on debt. I thought we were doing the Ramsey plan here. I guess they're not. They didn't mention Dave at all. Okay. I guess they're not. But the Ramsey way is that you don't have that debt, so that's priority. You're on baby step 2. Welcome to baby step 2. You don't do any other stuff that you want to do. Let's see. Recommendation. I want to make sure priority is straight. Priority should be no debt. You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. What do you expect to hear? Student loan as well. Student loan as well. Okay. My understanding is to wipe out the student loan first, but it accumulates 0 interest, and that's $15,000. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And your thought process is to pay off the car, what actually generates interest and will save us $500 a month. If you wanted to save $500 a month, you should have not bought a new car on a loan. You should have bought a used car in cash instead. If you wanted to be, say, $500 a month, that would be another way to do that, and that would be the recommended way. So, yeah. If the advice, it's simple. If you have debt, you pay it off. If you don't have debt, you say great, and you can move on to step 3. So step 3 is much better. So the mortgage doesn't come into play here at all, unless it's too much house, and then you have to sell it. Other than that, the mortgage does not come into play yet at all. Chad Bro Chili? No, Chad Bro Chill. Okay. Spousal spending. Has anyone had luck with converting a blissfully ignorant spouse to the light of the baby steps? Oh, yeah. I mean, this happens all the time. My spouse has never liked finances, and about 7 years ago, spouse does like spending money, apparently. I found Dave. Yeah, see, the problem, again, you got to watch out here. I'll read the rest of it and weigh in, though. But the problem you got to watch out here is you weren't doing this when you met her. You didn't know who Dave Ramsey was, or you didn't find him yet. And so she's the same person she's always been. You're the one that's changed, and now you think she's the one with the problem. She is, because she doesn't go along with this advice. But you have to have grace for her, because, or it doesn't say, it could be opposite. It could be the man that likes spending, and that does happen. But you do have to have grace for the spouse. And of course, regardless of it being the best advice, and absolutely what you should do 100% of the time, you'd like to keep your marriage together, I think. And to do that, you have to communicate, which means talking to him or her about it instead of Reddit. Compromise, so maybe she won't go full Dave, maybe she'll go half Dave, and sometimes that will make you be better off. Obviously not as fast as you want to do it, but that will be better than anything. I mean, the spouse, male or female, sticking to a budget for spending would be a major win all by itself, not to mention agreeing to do the other, even on a half measure. But yeah, you have to communicate and compromise, and if you can't do those, then it's time for counseling to see what's up. with this marriage. Let's see. So 7 years. Follow the baby steps diligently by yourself, huh? And have made it to steps 4, 5, and 6. How do you do that with her spending all the time? Mainly 4 and 5. Was late to the party on kid college and retirement, so really been pounding those for the last 2 years. Additionally, been avoiding paying extra on the home because I'm cash flowing several large renovation repairs. Okay, so Mr. I found Dave. Dave doesn't say cash flow large renovations or repairs, and prioritize that above kid college. He doesn't say do that. He also doesn't say invest more than 15% of gross income before the house is paid off early. He doesn't say that either. So you're doing it wrong too. So it should be easy to compromise since neither of you are doing it correctly. Done about annually, 20K annually on the home. Each of the last annual home each of the last 3 years. Large renovation / repairs. Okay, if something's repaired, yes. If you got a leak in the bathroom, it needs to be fixed. You do not need an entire redone bathroom. So that's the dealie on that. My wife was a full-time teacher, but with the birth of her second child 2 years ago, she switched to part-time adjunct position, making about $24K annually. Her previous income was $54K. Our youngest still goes to daycare full-time, and our oldest is in public school. She lost her job through no fault of her own. Kids had a lot of medical issues this past year, and she just missed too many days. It was a hobby job for her. Yep, with this news, I obviously have reworked our budget, and we will be fine, assuming my wife can control her spending. That should be in the budget. Her spending should be on the budget. Not just the budget. The spending doesn't go like, oh, I just walked by this product in the store. I want it now. That's not how it works when you have a budget. It works like, oh, I've already spent my allotted spending for this month. I will be an adult and I will get that item next month. That's how that works. Assuming my wife can control her spending, again, you are the one that decided to do all this, and even you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right, sir. I was right. It's a man. Currently, she gets $3K monthly. She gets it. So you graciously, benevolently dole it out for her to cover the following: food, kids, miscellaneous, and gas for her car. She spends approximately $1,400 monthly on shopping for stuff. What kind of stuff? I've luckily out-earned her spending addiction, but with loss of income, she is obviously having to cut back. She's basically refusing to do that. Tips. Again, you communicate with her. You set a limit on that with her. You and her both decide the limit on that, and that goes in the budget, and then she can't go over that. And you also stop doing whatever dumb stuff you're doing, like the constant renovation repairs. So instead of following the baby steps, so you're doing it wrong too. So you're not all high and mighty. So yeah, but that it's always in a marriage. It's always, even about money, it's always communication, not on Reddit, but with each other. Compromise. And if you can't do either one of those two things, then that's time for counseling and see if you can save the marriage. Pausing retirement to save for a house. TuneSoft 7119, and this is possible. Let's see. I am 26 and I make $63K a year. So I've started to save for a down payment. All right. I'm shooting for a $100K as my starting goal. I'm currently able to save up to $1,000 a month. That means I will be saving 8.3 years. I have a 10% match at work for my retirement. I contribute $500 a month, matched at $500 a month from my employer. Okay, if I am to keep contributing to retirement in that 8 years I'm saving for the house, that retirement will be worth $130K with an 8% annual return. At the end of this scenario, I would have $100K saved plus $130K in retirement, net worth of $230K. Or I can stop contributing to retirement and put $1,500 a month into down payment fund, which would bring my time of saving from 8.3 years down to 5.5 years, at which point I would start contributing again at the match $1,000 a month. Or 500 and the match for 500 would equal the 1,000. This contribution of 2.8 years would be worth $37K. So at the end of the 8.3 years in scenario 2, I would have a total of $37K plus $100K in home equity. What? And whatever home equity I build during my 2 years of home ownership, let's assume 20K, 150K-ish. Scenario 1 equals 230K. Scenario 2, 150K. Am I wrong for being hesitant to pause retirement while I save for a down payment? That's up to you, and you get to decide that. Again, step 4 and 3B. After you do 3, which is your fully funded emergency fund, so hopefully you have a 6-month emergency fund already. And 3B, which is not written here, is to save for a down payment. Step 4 is investing. And now for up to 3 years, you can invest 0 if you want to in order to save a larger down payment faster. You can absolutely do that. You're 26, you have plenty of time left in the market, so you can absolutely, certainly do that. But like you addressed in scenario 2, you will have much less in retirement by that time. Absolutely you will. So you are going to miss out on that, but you will get your required down payment or your desired down payment amount much faster by not doing any investing at all. So that's where it becomes your choice on there. Are you wrong? By just looking at this, yes. So, but the $230K comes with you waiting, what, 8 years until you buy a house? But that's up to you. And be grateful. Mr. Ramsey allows you to make that decision. How about that? Yedsack, taking Dave Ramsey Redditor's advice. Question about what to liquidate. I tried calling the show before without much luck. It's not easy, to get through. It's very difficult. It is still one of the most popular radio shows. Yep, people still listen to radio show, and it's first and foremost a radio show. But the YouTube numbers are bigger than ever. And they were also bigger than ever while Dave was gone on vacation. What do you think about that? I read a comment on a post here that said to simply put my question to the sub, as many of you will likely provide a similar advice as Dave. Well, no, you get some people that do what they want to do, and they will tell you to do what they would do in that situation as well. So that's not really true. No pressure. Great. I thrive on pressure, though. My family is growing, and we're looking to evolve from a single car family to 2 cars. The new to us vehicle being a minivan. Because you have more than 1 kid, you do not have to get a minivan. Parents, chill out with that. We're willing to invest between 25 to 30K on the new vehicle, being cash. If you got cash for it and you don't have debt and you have your full emergency fund, knock yourself out. So let's see if they do. B, our only debt is our mortgage, was 15% of household. Only debt is our mortgage, which is 15% of our household gross income. Okay, so they're under the 25% of take-home pay for mortgage payment is what I'm thinking they're talking about. The question is, what pot or funds or combination thereof do we use to pay for the minivan? Emergency fund equal to 4 months of income. It's not an emergency. Haha. So they said we'll be paying cash for it, but it's going to have to come out of a pot or bucket or another thing. So it's not an emergency to get a minivan. So it definitely doesn't come out of the emergency fund. HSA, you cannot put a minivan on a, we could cash out our hospital bills to cover the van. What? Oh, because you paid all the medical bills yourself. Okay, so you could do that. Yeah, probably that then. The mutual fund, the fund's value is basically right back where it was pre-COVID, so it wouldn't be a big income tax hit because essentially no realized gains if we took some out. You wouldn't do that unless it's a brokerage account. You wouldn't want to do that if it's a tax advantaged account. It depends. If you've had the account for 5 years, you can take out the contributions. Cryptocurrency, this is where we put 50% of the money we made selling our other vehicle 3 years ago, and there would be a decent tax hit if we sold any of this. Why? It would just be income because you made a bunch of money. Yeah, I guess then do the HSA, but if you need the minivan, you could take the tax hit and make it hurt more. How about that? We're leaning towards the HSA because though it's a great tax shelter, that money is ours tax-free, so cashing out wouldn't increase our annual income. Yeah, you're supposed to do that anyway instead of paying the medical bills yourselves. Why did you do that? To keep it to max out retirement, okay? What's more important, maxing out retirement or getting a minivan as well? So you got to make all of these decisions. Let's see. We wanted to buy sooner than later. I realize automobile prices are falling and will continue to this year, most likely. Thank you in advance. Yeah, so it's just something that you want to do. You do not have to do. My 2 kids fit fine in a compact car, so parents go crazy. Edit. Users DMCAND3 is a mod and is peeved that he doesn't know how an HSA works, and suddenly the thread is locked. Thank you to everyone else who added your helpful thoughts. Alrighty. You can still edit it while it's locked. Interesting. Maybe the OP can do it. Alright, interesting. Goes about what to liquidate. Yeah, so you can do the HSA because again, you should have already done that, but still had that in the HSA. Or had nothing in the HSA, but oh well. So a medical bill is not important enough to lose the investing of the HSA, but minivan is. So that's that's on you guys. Suitable soil 5261. Stop going crazy, parents. Any excuse to not be financially responsible. I already help. And having an extra kid I gotta spend money now. I gotta spend so much money. I got 2 kids. I gotta have a minivan. I already help. Hey, please bear with me. I can never remember the differences between Roth and traditional and what's best for me. Recently I was going through 401ks and found out a small one I have was never changed to an IRA. Traditional IH9900 with Voya with like $1,900, and I'm aware that's nothing. Yeah, it's more than $1,899. Definitely more than zero. Also found another old 401k with $10,000 sitting there doing nothing. Was looking for some advice on what I should do. At the moment, I don't have a lot of extra cash to be adding anything. I'm also 42 years old. You can roll those to 401k. You do have to pay taxes on the 401k. You would have to pay, if you have a 401k with another employer now, you could roll it to that without any tax hit. If you're talking about cashing it out, there will be a tax hit on the gains, on the growth. You will have the tax hit on the growth. The small one, IRA traditional. So again, that would be the same thing. So the 1900 as well, you'd have to pay taxes on the growth on that. The 1900 was not going to be as much as the 10,000 one, obviously. Bobby Digital, 2030. Just checking some math. Okay, don't do it like the other guy did, where I'm going to take this and do this extra step of splitting it in half first, and then we'll do another step in math, which is putting them back together again. Dumb. Just checking some math. I have a rental that currently nets a loss. Well, this is why you don't do rentals. That's why you don't be a landlord just because you have an extra house laying around, or because you own a house and then, oh, I'm moving. Oh, I should definitely be a landlord. Don't do that crap. Rent is $2,100. Mortgage is $2,500. $850 goes to principal. Remaining amount on loan is about $315,000. I think I could pay it off in a couple years. How? You're having to feed it $400 a month, so you're doing it at a loss. So you're making money elsewhere, or I could keep that money in my stock account. If I did, is your stock account losing $400 a month? I don't think so. If I did pay it off, the cash flow difference would be about $2,500. Is it worth it to pay it off? That's up to you. If you want to be Bobby Landlord, you can do it. If you want to be Bobby doesn't have to deal with being a landlord anymore, then you can have more money in investing. It's up to you. Diggy TLL. Girlfriend does not want me to pay debt. Hey everybody. Hi guys. I bought a used sedan in late Feb and been kind of obsessed with paying it off. Vehicle total was $25.1K and I put down $11K. This includes my trade-in, so I financed $14.1K, not Dave's advice. To do that, you would pay cash for any car. I just put $6K down on that debt and I'm left with $8.1K. I currently live with my parents, not at home, live with my parents, good job. And net boot, $3K a month after taxes and 401K contributions. I have $11.5K in savings. You would pay it off immediately out of the savings. I want to pay the rest of the loan off before my girlfriend and I move out in late summer. You and your girlfriend should not move out and into... Hopefully the girlfriend's not living with you and your parents. And you shouldn't have combined income, finances, and she doesn't get to say what you do with your savings and with your any stuff. Even if you're doing dumb stuff, she didn't get to say anything about it. But she does not want me to do that because she would be moving out with much more savings than myself, and there would be a discrepancy. Yeah, so that's why you don't do any of this stuff. Because you would be moving out with much more savings than myself, and there would be an imbalance, as in okay, so she lives with her parents, and okay, as I would be less inclined to pay for things. What would you do in this scenario? Locked post. Oh, things going crazy on the Reddit. So they're not living together. You wait till you're married to live together, and you can move out separately to separate places yourself, and that way you can pay for all of your stuff, and she can pay for all of her stuff. And then if you get married, then you can move in together. by that time. And then by that time, hopefully you'll know if you'll be able to live together with what you think, for what you believe is right financially, which includes you're not doing it the Dave way, obviously. Maybe you bought the car before you heard about Dave, because you did get obsessed about paying it off, and something made that happen, so maybe you just found out about Dave. Costco is the best. How many extra do we have? That's probably more than, if it was like 3 more to catch up to present hour, I would do that. Let's see. There's the math. Girlfriend does not want me to. I'll just do this one then. Costco is the best. Bought some Michelin Cross Climate tires from Costco for $5.75 out the door. Bought them on sale and used my $200 member rewards check to help with the cost. Costco also does free mountain balance as well as a free road hazard. Do you work for Costco, sir? This set was around, this episode of Answering Your Financial Questions brought to you by Costco. No, they're not. That was a joke. This set was around $1,000 or more everywhere else I looked. Okay, great. They had a great price for you for that. Congratulations. All right. Then you got to work out with the problem with those warehouse clubs is it's worth it if you use all of the stuff. Like if you buy the 8-month supply of cereal or whatever it is and the big thing, and you use it all, if you use everything that you buy from there before it expires, then that probably works out fine. But when you spend a whole lot of money there, that doesn't leave much for spending at regular grocery stores, so you do have to find a fine balance between all that. So it's not always the greatest thing, and like if it's a single person or just a couple living together, obviously man and wife living together, but regardless, even then, the bulk savings might not be enough for you. Alrighty, let's hit those plugs. Alright, again, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. And that is a video conferencing appointment, so you can do that from anywhere in the whole wide world. English speaking would be best, obviously. Might have a hard time of it otherwise. 4 years of high school Spanish. We might be able to get through it, maybe. Email about coaching or anything in my YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Channel donations. PayPal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, for donations, you can do Cash App for $Coach Steve Money, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money. YouTube channels, youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And upcoming streams, this show, Answering Your Financial Questions, Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, upcoming Ramsey Show After Show. The next one will be on Tuesday, April 30th. And there will be, I have a week off in May, so there will be more than usual in May. I might not do one every day that I'm off that week, but probably over half of them. Alrighty. And then we get rid of that so you can see the line right there, and I say make smart financial decisions every day.